Welcome back, New World. Sethphir here, and today we are bringing you another video. But first, I wanted to say that we have finally hit 10,000 subscribers. It's such a huge milestone, and so I wanted to try to experiment with doing some live streams today. So it is September 23rd, and we are going to attempt to do a live stream at 6 p.m. EST. I do say attempt because I am very new at this stuff, and I'm probably going to mess it up, so bear with me. I will try to do a bit of a QA and things of that nature, so that will kind of be on there, and hopefully that it works out pretty well. So we are back with this video, and this is going to be part 3 of the leveling series, going all the way up to 60. As you can see, we got some glorious PvP action here in Brightwood. It's definitely a poppin' place to be, so it's a very nice spot to start out at level 30 at, right? So we're talking 30 to 45 in this series, so we're gonna go ahead and dive deep into that. So 30, what happens at 30? You should have done Amarine a few times at this point. You should also be set up in a position to where you can get the Starstone quest. We talked about that in the last video. I believe it was called, it started with like Center of the Stars and things like that, or Lay of the Stars, and then it eventually leads into Starstone of Shattering, which is the one that you should be getting. And this is a level 33 required quest, so you're going to have to fill that 30 to 33 gap with town boards, questing in Brightwood, perhaps, things of that nature. Running these little PvP quests like I'm doing on the screen was pretty good XP for me, especially if you're running with a group that can take some PvP encounters, because you will get extra bonus experience from killing some of those. There is a group of level 35 elites, which I will go over in a little bit later video, so you can probably try to get a bit of XP grind on those guys, but mostly it's probably a bit of town boards and a bit of like questing in Brightwood. Yeah, that's pretty much it. To be honest, you could do Weaver's Fend. It's a little higher level, but that's probably how you're gonna fill that 33 gap, right? So you definitely want to get there. So once you are at 33, you're gonna keep continuing that main story quest line. That will also help get you most of the way there too. So go as far as you can possibly go on that. You will unlock the Starstone of Shattering quest, which will get you into the Starstone Obelisk dungeon, so we'll go ahead and flip over to that. All right. Here we are in the Starstone Obelisk dungeon, the Starstone Barrows. So we do see a few things. If you take a look at the top right, I do have a quest, which is a repeatable, called More Bones for Barkimedes, right? So this is similar to the Amarine quest. It's going to be from Barkimedes, who is setting right outside of Amarine, so you have to pick that one up first, then go to the Starstone Barrows. But basically, you will get another repeatable quest to get some different types of bones from certain rare monster, or not rare monsters, but I guess mini boss monsters in here, and you will be able to turn that in for quite a bit of experience. It is very nice, so do keep that in mind. So you're going to want to pick this one up. There is also the main story quest that gives you the key to even get in here, so make sure that you have that. Oh, sorry, it's not main story, it's like side arc quest, the one that we talked about that requires you to go to Amarine. So if you do have that, that's how you will get the orb to even enter the dungeon. If you do not have that quest, most likely you will not have an orb, so unless you're like, you know, borrowing off of a friend who's using their orb and they're just tagging you along, you probably will already have this quest. But make sure that you do have both of these, because it is going to give you the highest XP yield, and doing this dungeon without these quests, maybe not the best, right? Like, it gains so much value for having both of these quests. I believe it's like almost a full level, or maybe a half level at least, for turning in these quests, depending on what level you're at. And you could do these starting from level 33. There's also a lot of very nice loot in this dungeon, as well as just, it's very fun, right? Like, just watch out for lasers. That's all I gotta say. And we'll let you guys explore that kind of area for that. But it's definitely a great dungeon. I think you could grind this up to from 33 to 35. Just keep in mind that your orbs for this dungeon will be very limited. There's only like one quest as far as I know, so you're going to get to run this with a full group 5 times and then you're done, right? Like that's it. So if you do run it 5 times, you are going to get a lot of good stuff from it because you can run that same Barkamedes repeatable 5 times in a row, which is amazing. I think it's something like 8,000 experience. It's quite hefty. And you also get the experience, as you can see on screen, that I'm getting from killing the elite mobs and the mastery points and stuff like that, so it's pretty decent to do. So what happens? 35. Let's say you're 35 now. You're going to probably start to see a lot of portals populate on the map, so let's go ahead and hop on over to that. Okay. So at this point, you are level 35 at least, I would hope. There are also corrupted portals that you can do. As you can see, we are kind of grouping up as a team and doing them here, so this is a nice thing to do. These portals will appear in the level 25 zones. They will appear in the level 30 to 35 zones, so some around Brightwood. A lot of them end up being in Weaver's Fen for some reason. I don't know exactly why, but they just tend to do. So basically, you can kind of group up and do these portals right around this level range, and it would be nice to do because it does give you quite a chunk of XP. As you see, I got 2k right there just for closing that major breach. And, we're going to kind of go around. So this is the bottom of Brightwood. We eventually dip up into Weaver's Fen, and all these portals are around the same level. They're like 35. So that's a really good spot to go. Another great spot is the Lake Guinevere, or Guinevere, I believe, which is directly to, you just saw the map there, to the west of that. That is going to be a level 35 undead zone. There's going to be a bunch of like zombies on an island, or like lost, sorry, maybe not zombies, lost on an island, and you can grind them and kill them. They are pretty good. There's also elite chests there. So this is the 35 equivalent of Dead Man's Cove, right? So you're going to be going here to get those chests, and you can grind those elite monsters and get a little bit up. I would also couple this with the main storyline. Again, go as far as you can go every time. And as always, town boards. Cannot stress that enough, town boards. Make sure you're doing that every 30 minutes and then doing other activities like the Starstone Dungeon, this corrupted portal grind, the elite grind that's near here, or just quests in general in Brightwood. Like, that's a decent thing to do, right? So as you're doing this, you're going to be going from 35 to roughly about 40, and 40 is where it will kick in. You're going to need to kind of go into other places. You might need to do more main story quests. You're going to get it to where it brings you up to getting into the depths. And so from that point on, from 40 to 43, it's going to be a grind. You're going to be doing town boards. You're going to be doing portals. A lot of the same stuff you've been doing at 35 onward. Starstone does not worth, like once you hit 40, Starstone is not worth at all. It's probably worth in the 33 to 38 bracket, maybe a little higher, but not much after that. Elites are still a decent source of XP, so that is something that you could do as well. But you're going to kind of be in this like Brightwood, Weaver's area. You could consider Cutlass, although Cutlass is a little bit higher, and some of Restless Shore is where you'll start to be getting into there. And when you do hit that 40, I would recommend going towards the Restless Shore, because there is another quest there that will give you a depths tuning orb, right? So the main story quest will lead you to the depths eventually, and you'll get a free tuning orb from that, but you will get a second tuning orb from some of the quests in Restless Shore. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that next. And the next one for that one would basically be, let's see, I got the quest here. Okay, it's called, oh man, I'm gonna butcher this. Archdeacon Azamela. Oh man. Okay, that one's hard. Anyways, it's from this guy named Taslav Gherkin. Yep, you heard that right. And Restless Shore. So you would basically be able to go to him starting at level 43. So once you do eventually climb up to 43, this is the point in which I would recommend the depths. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Okay, I lied. Before we jump into the depths, we're actually going to take a look at this level 40 spot. As you can see, I just turned in 3 quests. I forgot about Great Cleave, so I'm going to add that in. Great Cleave is a phenomenal spot. You can do it starting at level 40. So you're going to head over to this guy right here. You're going to grab the 3 bottom quests. As you can see, I have completed the quest, and I'm actually just waiting on the timer. I literally have nothing to do. So I completed these 3 PvP quests super fast. I'm waiting on the top timer, which is 45 seconds. And I literally just am going to AFK here. I probably could make better use of my time by getting a little bit of lumber or wood cutting outside of here and getting it leveled up. But basically the cooldown timer on these missions are 5 minutes. So you can do all 3 of these PvP missions. They're super close. I managed to get them done in 4 minutes, and then I have to just kind of wait around. And then once I do finally get the, the quest back, I grab them and I head back out and I do it again. And so this is a fantastic way to get faction points. If you really want faction points and faction rep, you're going to boost that up here starting at level 40. It's phenomenal. This place is insane. So you need to head here. One thing to note is that everybody's faction mission here is slightly different. So some people will want to be gathering wood. Others, it will tell them to kill sheep. It's just different per faction that you chose, right? I did do a full video on this before, so make sure you check that out if you want any other details. But as you can see, you're getting a good bit of XP. You're getting a lot of rep and tokens and things of that nature and territory standing. So if that's something that you're interested in, you could do that a little bit to get some of these things up. It could give you access to some decent armor and weapons if you choose to do so. But mainly it will advance your faction mission reputation rank, which will get you to the next rank of that, which is also something to keep in mind. You know, these are the 2 alternate things that you want to do with the main story quest line, which is your PvP rank, your faction rank, leveling that up, and your camp quest, because having a high level camp actually comes in pretty handy. So those are things that you may want to keep in mind. I'll do like a full detailed guide on that a little bit later. So now we will really jump into the depths, no lie. All right, here we are in the depths for real this time. As you can see, I do have a variety of quests here. At this point, I have the main story quests. I also have the repeatable quest, so we'll go ahead and talk about that. That is called Meet for Nakumesh. Oh yeah, something like that. He's a salamander outside of the depths, right? That's what he is. So go ahead and head to him. He's right on the way there. You do need to be level 43 to get that quest, as well as a lot of the other quests. So we do have that other board or other quest coming from the Restless Shore Town, which is the Archdeacon one. So make sure that you do have that available as well to you. So that should be a total of 3 for this dungeon. There are also some additional quests that can come from the town boards, so that's something we'll talk about. Sometimes when you're high enough level, you can get a town board quest to go to a dungeon and do something. And so if you do see that there, it's always nice to pick up because you know you're eventually going to head there and complete it, right? So the whole point of this dungeon would be recommended level 43, and then that should get you to like 47, maybe 48, coupled with doing other things, right? So don't just straight do this dungeon, do town boards, then come in and do the dungeon, and then wait on your town boards to refresh, right? You could also consider doing some like portals up in Morningdale at like 43 and stuff like that, but that's like a small thing, so we'll kind of go into that a little bit later. But essentially this dungeon is going to give you a lot of weapon XP and XP from these monsters. As you can see, it's not bad for like what you're killing along the way, but mainly it's going to give you some of really good item drops. Like this is going to be the first time where you start to see some purples, the first time where you start to see some pretty interesting things. So getting a weapon from here would really do a lot for you, like in the leveling process. It's really going to nail it in, and having like a 460, 470 weapon somewhere in that range could really do a lot for you leveling up here. So make sure that you're running this dungeon, you're getting that repeatable. You need it for the main story quest to continue the storyline anyways. I know in the betas it capped out after this, so we would not see any more main story quests. So I cannot help you because I do not know what comes after this, right? I completed this quest, I turned it in, and it said, oh, we'll see you next time. More will be revealed in the launch of the game, and that was it, right? So there was nothing that you could do on that aspect. So this will be the final quest area, main quest area that I will see, but when the game comes out, we will see more after that. And my guess is it's going to lead up into like, oh, I don't know, Great Cleave and Eden's Grove and then Shattered Mountain, right? Like that seems like a logical progression from here. So yeah, you do start to see these cool items too from Captain Thorpe specifically. He does drop some like unique cosmetic looking things, like ideally his like helmet, right? Like his helmet does drop from here, and they seem to be a little bit higher gear score than a lot of the other items around this level range. I don't know if it's bumped up just because it's him and he's like an iconic character in the story or what, but he does seem to drop some interesting things. So this will be a very good power boost in terms of gear for you, right? And so this dungeon definitely is hard, though. I will say that if you come into here with a group and you're gonna run this a lot of times, make sure your group is solid. And please, please make sure your tank has a taunt gem. You need a Carnelian taunt gem. It is so hard to do Captain Thorpe without a tank that has a taunt gem. Like, let me tell you, this guy will go after anyone and everyone. And on top of that, he can almost one-shot most squishy characters and definitely two-shot as part of a combo. So he's quite a lengthy battle. He's a lot different from all the other boss monsters and expeditions that you have seen. So just take that with like, you know, a warning. Like heed that as a warning. He is a little hard. So you're going to need a pretty solid group. So make sure you got your stuff together before you kind of come in here. All right, and that's pretty much it for the 45 section here, so 30 to 45. We will talk about some later things as the leveling process does change quite a lot going from 45 to 60. There are a lot of traps, so you're definitely going to want to tune into the next one because there's so many traps that you could get to 60 and end up having to do all the backtracking for all these quests and all this main story stuff and everything, and it's like you basically aren't 60 because you're going to be spending all this time catching up on all these quests. Or you could do the quest while leveling and maybe level up a little bit slower, but in return, you're immediately going to have access to the quests that give tuning orbs for the late game dungeon. You're immediately going to have access to really high gear score weapons in the quote unquote legendary quest line and things of that nature. And you're going to be set up for in-game stuff. So definitely pay attention to that next one as it will be something very important for you to watch. So with that said, I'd just like to thank everybody for their time and watching this video. If you haven't already and you do enjoy this content, make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the bell. If you really like the content, we do have a join button with all kinds of badges, emojis, and special perks going in. So if you're really interested in that, you can check that one out. We also have a Discord, which has a community there, tons of people like-minded with New World that are discussing the game, talking about the game. You can also reach out and chat with me on that Discord, so the link for all of that will be in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching, and we will catch you in the next video.